Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. I want to give you some random observations from last night's Heat Clippers game before we get into the footage. And one of them is that I don't like the Heat offense in the first half. And they do this a lot where they'll do 5-out spread, stand around, let one guy go one-on-one and see what he can create. But as the game wears on, they start to call more and more plays that actually use 5 men together in a team-like framework to get good shots. And it makes you wonder why they don't do that in the beginning. And it keeps teams closer in my mind. Now, the other thing about their defense is that it really is terrific. I've always been impressed how Spoelstra can get 5 guys at the pro level at one time to give out that much energy and that much aggressiveness. It's really incredible to watch. My problem is when you play against really good teams that can prepare, they can slice that up. However, when Chris Paul had to go out, and this was crucial in the third quarter, it really turned the game, and the Clippers simply don't have any margin for error with the guys they have coming off their bench. Doc Rivers wanted the team to run, and here's one reason. When Blake sprints the floor, it forces CP3's man to cover him till Bosh can get there. Once CP3 gets into the front court, he isn't picked up till inside the three-point line. However, the Heat will trap you in the corner, and Chris Paul is lucky he gets bailed out with a weak call. While the Clippers were reluctant to put Blake on LeBron, he actually did well for several possessions and should have done this more. The Heat finally turned to their horn set with LeBron on the left high post, and this becomes a simple screen for him. No way they should switch this easily on this, and Blake needs to fight through that much harder. As a result, Willie Green gets taken. We know Miami was very effective doubling the pick and roll all night, and CP3 adjusts by taking off fast to the hoop. But watch Blake Griffin. He's setting a back pick and calling for the pass to go to the shooter in the corner. As CP3 drives, however, he doesn't set the screen, then starts walking back on defense. Miami's weakness is on the boards, and the fact that Blake wasn't crashing for every shot was unconscionable. Miami clearly doesn't want LeBron to attack Blake, so they set a double ball screen, but it looks like no one calls it out, and Blake is caught completely unaware that a 6'8", 220-pound man has run up on him to get in his way. DeAndre Jordan, for his part, needs to step up much earlier before LeBron gets to take 3 steps to the rim and draw the foul. Miami's intense pressure defense can get you out of position, and when the Clippers run a zipper cut into screen and roll, Blake Griffin's ankle is off and he's there too early, making it ineffective. He tries again, but it's a lot farther to the right of the floor, making any kind of skip pass virtually impossible and limiting their options. Without question, DeAndre Jordan should be on the block trying to post or setting a flare screen for Chris Paul. CP3 doesn't get the shot he deserved and maneuvers out of a double team. He misses a little bounce pass to DeAndre Jordan here, opting to hit Willie Green in the corner. This must be a shot, yet he inexplicably puts the ball on the ground and does an imitation of sitting on the toilet. All is not lost as Jordan digs it out, and I like the idea of a quick hitter to get the Heat before they're ready, but Blake misses a nice little bounce pass to DeAndre Jordan for the dunk and commits the turnover on a heads-up charge by Battier. I could swear I saw the Clippers run ice during the preseason, but watch Byron or BJ or whatever we're calling him now step up way too high along the sideline. Thing is, it did work up until the point where Blake Griffin starts walking around while guarding LeBron James. If you're guarding LBJ and not in a stance at all times, you give up layups and posters. More examples of no ice when Dudley comes up way high on a hedge, but then on the rescreen, you should see Redick jump up high to force Wade back to the baseline, and Dudley should move down towards the block. Instead, Dudley again tries to hedge, Redick gets easily beat baseline anyway, and watch DeAndre Jordan not step over to help on the cutter. What I don't like about the Clippers offense is too often after CP3 initiates the offense, he'll just stand in place. In this case, he actually backs up to half court and is now expected to do something from there with only seconds on the clock. Since Green is a non-threat in the corner, Battier can shift all the way over and take a charge. Against an elite team like the Heat, you never want to have a possession where one of your stars is confused with what you're running. But clearly, Blake Griffin doesn't know what play they're running and ends up in the wrong place off this pick and roll. To give you a glimpse into the Heat defense, LeBron forces baseline knowing help is coming from Birdman, and because it's Willie Green, who's not a threat to make skip passes, Ray Allen can be in the lane and Norris Cole can shift all the way over as well. The clock is against them now, and while Blake hits this shot, without a doubt, this is the exact shot Miami wants to give up every time. Desperate to stay in the game, Doc Rivers has to give CP3 a rest, and it almost works as Crawford gets good penetration and kicks to Willie Green, who again won't shoot it. Even worse, he puts the ball on the floor. While this is a terrible turnover, it's not quite a live ball turnover because the Clippers get back well enough to have a chance. They are excellent in this defensive sequence. Mullins hustles to double team Wade in the post, Blake does an excellent job closing out, and then the foul was called on Mullins when it was really a stupid push by Blake, ruining a terrific defensive possession. To make matters worse, with only 3 guys boxing out, the top guy, Willie Green, must box out the shooter. They don't do this, and Collison makes matters even worse by pushing him on the shot. Chris Paul continually attacked the great Miami defense from the top when all 5 guys were organized and in position. What you have to do is get movement first, then isolate on the wing where there is less help. Then there was this crazy sequence where Dwyane Wade usually gets a drag screen, but Miami calls for a back screen for Birdman, and a low percentage alley-oop. Awesome job by Crawford to knock it away. Doc called for his team to really push it, and it was evident that JJ Redick took this too much to heart with this wild shot. Norris Cole comes racing down and misses the finger roll at the rim, but watch Jared Dudley not try and grab the rebound, instead tapping it out to Dwyane Wade. Well, he certainly knows what to do with that. Again, wanting to run, we can't see exactly what happened, but it appears Collison was going too fast and gets his wild layup blocked. Here's the biggest matchup problem of the night, Redick isolated on Wade. Jared Dudley doesn't even help one pass away, just has no idea where his man is until Battier is laying the ball in. So the Clippers are on the road, second night of a back-to-back, down 7 without Chris Paul in. This is probably your last chance to turn this thing around. They get the double team they want off the pick and roll, but Crawford floats the pass, Dudley fumbles the catch, and this is what I was talking about in terms of attacking from the top into the teeth of the defense. Where it gets stupid is that DeAndre Jordan slams in the miss, but Jamal Crawford gets a technical foul anyway for complaining about his first shot. Here's a beautiful horn set for the Heat, and it's all misdirection to get Wade setting a down screen and establishing great post position. No double team comes, and Wade rises up and hits an easy one. The Clippers never recovered. So there you have it, sports fans. A lot of crucial mistakes in that stretch, and you don't really deserve to win the game if you can't play better against the Heat because they're too good on their home floor. And I know the Clippers won a back-to-back on the road, and that certainly explains some of the issues they had, but they really are way too thin in the front court, and they don't have anybody to come off the bench to grab rebounds or play good defense, and that's going to be a real problem for them going forward. So I don't know how well they're going to compete with the upper echelon teams, and certainly when they get in the playoffs. The Heat, on the other hand, looked pretty good, and Wade went off, and it really was feasting on guys like JJ Redick guarding him, and without a better team philosophy on defense by the Clippers, the Heat had no problem getting him shots. That said, they're still vulnerable on the boards, and we'll see, I'm sure, other teams come in there and hammer them there. And they'll probably have closer games this year as they're trying to save themselves a little bit more for the playoffs, which you can't blame them. They're going for the 4th finals run in a row, which is, in my book, virtually impossible. Well, thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for lots more coming up on B-Ball Breakdown. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. A great conversation there every day. Google+, Facebook, the whole deal. And don't forget, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You win?